Wamukinije, kinije, the mama belowe. Wamukalafila, kalafila, the mama belowe.
Because they started getting afraid from one another. Because there were other people who hate other people hate other tribe.
We were all in the dormitory, and all of a sudden we heard gun shooting, and we didn't know where to go. This is a responsibility that I'm about to take. It's not just thinking, but I'm going to pass messages over to people who are very bitter. What can I do to make them to taste sweet?
All we want is understanding. So that we stay together as a family. So that our children will live in a happy home.
Okay, welcome back everyone to our Because of the War virtual screening. And today we have an extra special talkback session to follow up. We are joined by the incredible women of the Liberian Women's Chorus for Change, Fatou Gayflor, Zay Tete, and Marie Nyambo, as well as the film's director and former director of programs at the Philadelphia Folklore Project, Tony Shapiro of him, who is also now a professor at Brandeis University. As the Philadelphia Folklore Project, we make up the audience, myself, Eric Cesar Morales, and Cinta Peñami Storms in the background. And we're just going to have a little friendly chat about the history behind the film, the chorus, and some of the poignant themes that it brings up in our screening today. So to get started, I'm wondering if you guys could tell us a little bit about the history of the Liberian Women's Chorus for Change and how that came to be here in Philadelphia.
Speaking is ZTT. I want to say once again, hello everyone. Liberian Women Chorus for Change. I remember a few years ago, I can't, come up with the exact date. A few years ago, we were at the Folklore Project. We have something going on at the Folklore Project. We always used to go there. We have a job that we used to go there every time. They want us to go out and find out about problems that Liberian women facing here in the United States, in the immigrant community. And so that day we all went out. We all went in different neighborhood, other places. And we interviewed Liberian women, and a lot of them talk about financial abuse, emotional abuse, and sometimes physical abuse from their partners. So when we all came by, we heard these stories and we came back to Folklore Project. Based upon the story that we heard from these people, because people know us from back home, they know the four of us at that time, they know what we can do. So we all decided that we can work together. We can do something about that. And that's how we came up with the Liberian Women Chorus for Change. And our message to our people is to encourage them to speak up in whatever situation or whatever problem they are facing in their community, in their homes, or in their at their job or any other place. They are interacting with people. So that's how we came up with the Liberian Women Chorus for Change. So that's the little one I can share for now. Maybe Marie and Fatu can add to it. They know more. They can add to it.
My name is Fatu Gayflor. In 2013, we were given these little private recorders to go out and see how Liberians that live in the Philadelphia area, how things were with them. Speaking forward, we ended all our conversation. We realized that there were more women at this recording that we did. We had a lot of women that had problems, so we decided we're going to end the whole program by inviting people in the community to come so we can sing for them. The things they left are is we are renowned singers from back home. We sing, all the Liberians know us. You call Zaytidini, they know who Zay is. If they have not seen her, but they know her. You call our sister that passed away, Toketoma, they know her. Marie Nyenebo doing the work, she made her name. So we decided all four are coming together. It will make it easier for our people to listen to us. People preach to people all the time about things that are going on, but seeing four beautiful Liberian women come in, sing for you free, dance for you, and then speak to you, so that you can bring your problem. We were not problem solver. We were only searching for people who have this problem so we can direct them to people who knew how to solve their problem. If I can recall right, so many women that I knew, about 3, 4, they themselves took their children out of America and sent them to Liberia because they think that children have problems. But they forgot to know the problem the children were facing, it was from mommy and daddy. You are home with your parents, they come from work, they do nothing but force and force and force. So the children feel that leaving a home, it will make their problem little lesser. And when they leave home, knowing that the street they are going to, they are not used to it, but they get decided, I'm tired with my mommy and daddy with their physical fight or their, domestic violence. I'm just leaving. And they leave, they get into bigger problem. So those are things that we were trying to go to our Liberian sisters and tell them, hey, here are educated people, here are professional people who knows how to take care of your problem. Now, Tony from the Liberian or from the Philadelphia Folklore, she did her best to connect all with the women against abuse in Philadelphia. We went, we listened to these people because we ourselves that were trying to go out to the Liberian sisters, we didn't even know all the abuses that count for, for someone to say somebody abused me. We went to this workshop, we sat at the workshop, we listened to people, we were like, wow, it was really surprising that you can not only physically beat somebody, it's called abuse, but just using our money without letting them know it's financial abuse. We were looking at each other like, okay, that is a lot in our community we didn't even know of. And holding somebody paperwork because you brought them, you think you will not give them paper, you just keep them in a house, you refuse to get, that's abuse too. So we took all of these things, we went to our sisters and we spoke to them. We saw so many people who came and said, oh, yeah, thanks so much for bringing this idea up. And then we will secretly give them, the women against abuse number. Because we were not professional people to deal with that, so they can deal with it. And that's how we started the whole Liberian Women Chorus for Change. And when we were doing all the performances, Tony Para looked at it and said, you know what, this is even greater. We could record this. We could put all of these together. What's up? What's up with that? Can we all sit and just have a dialogue and see what we can do? And that's how the film, because of the war, just began. We performing for Liberian Women Chorus for Change. Boom, we were into movie business.
Yes.
Yeah. And I'm glad Tony is here today to talk more about her idea and the technical part about making a movie. We were always showing all, they were making all happy, we happy, we do. But the technical part, it was all about her.
Well, both Zay and Fatu mentioned the word listening. And I think this goes to the core of work at the Folklore Project. So much of it is about deep and compassionate listening. And people on staff at the Folklore Project had been listening to and paying attention to members of the Liberian community, the huge Liberian community in Philadelphia, for a very long time. And out of that listening and relationships, and Zay mentioned also that there was a long history of work in schools and other aspects of community that the Folklore Project supported. We heard about issues within the community, and we heard a desire of the artists with whom we worked to do something, to engage in some constructive community building. So that's how the chorus eventually emerged. It was out of listening and hearing and working together. And then we actually worked with Dudley Cock from Roadside Theater in Appalachia, who came up with some techniques for community listening and story sharing that helped us all together, but in particular the Liberian artists we were working with, who included Zay's husband, the storyteller, Batu Kombe, and others, Kormasa Bobo, a dancer. So originally it was a broader group who would go out into the community to have their ears on the ground and to pick up on what concerns were in the moment broadly. And these wonderful artists would come back and not just retell what they had heard, but also perform what they had heard, like reinterpret the stories they had heard in song or movement. And eventually they created a dance drama together based on community issues, performed that back for these very community members who had shared things with them. And do you remember at the end of that performance, people stood up as if they were giving testimony and just shared what they had been through. And it was after that that you all met together and decided on the chorus, because as singers, they have this kind of connection to the moral potency of Liberian song that they could harness for this new effort.
And that was actually, you kind of answered a question that I had, which was, obviously, I know that the three of you and also, Toke, may she rest in peace, obviously are singers, right? And so your medium is song and you were drawn to that. But I'm wondering if you could talk a little bit about that potency of Liberian song, right? And so how has folk song in Liberia, from Liberian traditions, been useful in terms of telling these stories and having that impact with the local community? How have people responded? For our audiences, do you sing traditional songs? Do you write your own traditional songs? What's a little background on that process?
Most of our songs that we sing within a chorus, one or two were written. Half of it is traditional background song from Liberia. What really traditional songs are done for Liberian, so far I know, is help relax the body and relax the mind of what is going around us, because we use these songs during the refugee time too. I can remember when I was a refugee in Guinea and Ivory Coast, I used my songs um, to perform for Liberian women that lost their children, to perform for people that were traumatized from the war. The song is not, a, like we're not using it to solve people problem, but we are using it so that these people will get up in the morning and be, happy and know that I still got problem, but I live in a better day today, and I can, hope for a better tomorrow. It's just something that the people who go to yoga classes is to meditate and do all of those things, and they say it help a lot. So that's what our songs have been doing for us for so many years. It didn't take away our problems. No, it did not. But I think the word I will use, because I personally did it, it calmed me down, and then it helps me to, you know, uh, relax my nerves from some of the harsh depression thinking that were going on into my mind. Oh, I lost this. I don't think I'm fitting anymore to live my life. But when you go on the stage with your friends, you perform, that interaction right there, the song singing, the dancing, it just bring you to a different area. And that area of happiness keep you going. So I think that's why Liberians, we are continuing to use songs. Like our sister that passed away said, how can I sing a song to change people who are bitter to sweet? And they did it. She, Mary Yenebo, they did it in the war because they were at the war front. They used their song to talk to army children, the younger soldier, to bring their guns and put it down. People might think, okay, is that mean songs finish war? No, we're not saying so. We're not saying so. But we are saying, no matter, like Toki said, if the man is bitter, you don't go there preaching to them harshly. You go there with something that will calm their mind down first, and then you talk to them about what you want to get out of them. And that's the same thing that we took from the refugee camp. That's the same attitude we brought here to Philadelphia to do for our people. So again, I would say the songs is like meditation for us. It helps us a lot. It doesn't take our problem, it doesn't solve our problem, but it's a step forward for us in our problem. A very important step. Very. Yeah. Anyone wants to add to it, can add, but that's how I look at our traditional songs.
Let me add just a little bit to what Fatu said. Our songs, our traditional songs, it helps our people out there a lot. I remember a few days ago, one of my cousins called from Liberia and talk about our movie. I was so happy when she called and said, "Oh, Zay, don't you know that they show you on the TV?" And I asked her, I said, which one? Because we have a whole lot of click, on this Liberian Women Chorus for Change. I mean, on the recording. But she didn't tell me the specific one. But she said it was you, Fatu, Toke, and Mary Nyanamo. I mean, we really enjoy it. We really, really enjoy it. I wish if our people could try to bring you guys in Liberia, because we want to see somebody your songs. We can really, really think about these songs. It can heal our problems. Because when you think about Fatu's song those days, and you listen to Zeti, those days, Toke Toma, and Mary Yenembo, that whole beautiful way of dancing. And y'all can come here and for all to see your life. It will be really good. So I just laughed. I said, okay, thank you so much. I said, thank you, Ma, for telling me this. But I will try to talk to our bosses at Folklore Project so that we'll see what we can do. But our music, it really heal people problem out there. And with all these things that are going on, sometimes when there are some people who will just play our music and then they will be like, oh yes, I wish we were back in the days. So everything will start normal again. Everything will be normal again. So yes, our music, impact, it have an impact on people out there.
Out to West they say the traditional music is like a pin pill.
Yeah,
When
we
you are
know.
sleeping in a body,
Yeah.
and then you take your Tylenol, then you relax. Because here in Philadelphia, the traditional music on my own trial, all the old people that in Philadelphia here, they play the traditional music more than even any other thing. Because like they viral, they got some old people who used to just go around, pick up a lake cup, go around begging people doing one or two things, but nothing doing now, and they sitting down home. So they use the traditional music more than any other thing. I remember the few times I went to Jersey and I worked to Jersey and one vibe worked there. So from one thing to another, then somebody said, oh, the woman, she's a musician. Then the person asked me, who are you singing together? I say, me, Fatu Gabriel. I say, hey, don't end. You know Fatu Gabriel? I say, yes. I say, you can't please help me and give me one of her CD. Let my mommy rest on my back because she's there on me. So I said, well, if you go on YouTube, you will see Fatu Gabriel's CD. Or you will see her music. She got audio and she got video on YouTube. Just tap in her knee and you will see it. And after 2-3 days, just yesterday, the boy came back to me and said, thank you, man, you did well. Because he said, my old man used to be in the street, she used to be picking cop. And when we tell her to stop doing it, and she said, that's why I can keep her up because she didn't want to be sitting down. But because of the viral, and she in the house, said there's no child go around that TV. She get play or live vibe music all day, and that's it. And so I said there to say that music is just a pin pill because sometimes you disturb, sometimes your mind, you wake up in the morning, you don't know what to do. Even we ourselves that got the music, that singing the music. Sometimes something get to your mind and then you go straight to your music. And the traditional songs sometimes come out on you if you have problem in your mind. Right away, you will just create something that you think it will be better out there because where you thinking on, when you create it, it will be better out there for people. And when you put it out, it's good. So traditional music is something that people really love in the community, especially the old people, the idle people, they really love the traditional music. Because like during the war, talking out when we went to bombing, and when we got there, when we got to bombing, those soldiers were there. All of them were bitter that day. Nobody knew what happened. They said one of their chief died, and then we got there that same time. Then one of our leader, may his soul rest in peace, they call him Mr. Bala. Mr. Bala came to us in the hall and said, today, we got to sacrifice today because the soldier, one of their chief died. And then today for us to say we performing here, to tell them to put their hand down, we just got to ask God for mercy today. Then when we get out there, every one of them, they started firing. They said they don't want to see nobody. And then Toke had one song she can be singing. And then she said, before I sing this song, tonight I will be sleeping here and I will not sleep alone. I need a good man from this soldier tonight. Everybody say, they say, I either grab the general or whoever that tonight we're going to be tidying all together. I mean, she did that so they can calm down. And then when she did it, she started singing every one of them. Yeah, the man who died, he gone. So now they let go, yeah, you let go, yeah. We get there that night. And the any part of them, Mr. Barakin to say, you're married, children. You're really married. You're married. Because tonight, I was really thinking tonight was going to be our last night on earth. So the traditional music, I mean, our music, sometimes we may not know our own importance, but people around us, sometimes when they're saying things, then so for me, I can be very shy when they are saying things about our own music. So the how the traditional music go, our traditional music really help people out there.
As an outsider who has been so lucky to listen to Marie, Zay, and Fatu for all these years, as well as Toke, and to learn from them and their communities, I've also learned a lot from Ruth Stone, who is an ethnomusicologist with a specialty in Liberian music. And she's come to Philadelphia and been with all the women in the chorus and with me and other members of the Folklore Project to guide us in ways to expand our knowledge of the context of the music. And one of the things that I've learned from all of you and from her and from your broader communities is about the centrality of the songs in so many different communities, linguistic and cultural communities, because in Liberia there are a number of ethnic groups, and each one with its own language and cultural practices, etc. And the songs are different for everyone. They are parts of rites of passage. They include parables about how to be a good person in the world. There are all kinds of uses. Zay and Fatu have talked about the Sunday Society, a kind of initiation for girls to become women in their own communities. And they learn so much of the stories and attitudes and skills through song and dance. And a lot of the times when we talk about music, we're talking about music and movement. We're talking about song and rhythms. It's all of a piece. So they call themselves the Liberian Women's Chorus, and it includes sometimes a cappella singing with no instrumentation, sometimes accompaniment by drums or a beaded gourd instrument, the sasa. Actually, all of these women also sing to guitar and trap drum. So there's a combination of ways to present it. But the songs also, from what I've come to observe, have a way of connecting people, whether it's in joyous times or in very hard times. And in this context of displacement in Philadelphia, it's a way of grounding people in something solid from before, because so much is unknown at the present and into the future, and to build connections for possibilities. The sense of we're together in this, and if we can do this well, maybe we can find ways to do other things that benefit our community.
That's wonderful. I was struck, Fatu, when you talked a little bit about the experience of performing, right? And participatory performing, and how that can also be a healing experience as well, right? Being with people, singing with people, and connecting with an audience. It's a very special experience, right? When you're performing, but not from afar, right? You're connecting with your community or your audience as a performer. So a beautiful thing. I want to jump forward to the making of the film, but before we do, I feel like it's important to recognize that, of course, we're recording this on Zoom for a reason, right? We're in this virtual space because we are in the midst of what is this horrific COVID-19 pandemic in Philadelphia, in the United States, and in the world at large. And with all this talk of the healing power of music and performance and dance and the history of the chorus, why it was created and how you've been harnessing these traditions over time to connect, with the community and provide that, as Tony just mentioned. I'm curious if you could tell our listeners, are you guys, beyond the stuff that we've been doing at the Folklore Project here and there, Are you guys singing online? Are you doing things with song in the community right now in response to the pandemic? Or how has being in the pandemic affected you as a group and as performers thinking about the healing power of your art?
The pandemic really affected everyone, but I think more affected us more. I think so, because like we are that own this recording, we know that Liberian traditional songs are call and respond. So we cannot do Zoom rehearsal. We have to be physically in the same space doing what we know best. And because of this, we have pulled hold to a lot of stuff. The only thing I personally doing is going to work and coming back and praying every day that the pandemic can be over with so we all can go back, with our normal thing. Because just meeting at the Philadelphia Folklore Project, it was a happy time for us. The Friday that we will go there for rehearsal, we all happy that we're going. I will go see Marie. She will bring some funny thing again. We will all laugh. And Zay will come. She don't talk much, but she will sit out there and throw one here and there. All of those things was so great. Now everything just sees down because of the pandemic. Everything just sees down. Like me, 2 years ago, I started teaching my daughter and other people, kids that are born in America. I started teaching them the Liberian traditional dance and song. And every July 26th, which is our Independence Day, they will all perform. People will come and see them. And you will not believe how to let children learn so fast and dance. All of those seeds, and the children parents will call me, oh, my daughter just want to say hi to you because you have not rehearsed for so long. I'm like, oh my God. Tell your daughter hi. Then I want her to enter Fatu. They will come on the phone. When are we rehearsing? I say, okay, no rehearsal right now. The pandemic is over. What is pandemic? Oh my God. Some kind of saying that came and eating all everybody. So we can't meet. Oh, for real? Yeah, for real. That saying that is not good. When it catch you, your nose will run, you can't breathe. Oh, okay, then we're finished. I mean, you're talking about 6-year-old children, 10-year-old children. They will call, they want to see you, they want to go because they were so much happy. When they leave from school, we pick them up, they go and dance. They're happy. When they finish doing that, of course, you got pizza going for them. They're happy with that. You take them to the Wawa, they put more expensive on you. But it was beautiful knowing that you're sharing what you've been doing when you were a little kid for all the years, you are now sharing it with your children. And because of the pandemic, we're not doing that. All we're doing, go to work and come back. And even at that, we pray every day that when we go to work, we'll be able to be safe from people. Because I was minding my business at work, but I caught it. I caught it from somebody who works at the nursing home and came to my job in the group home. He and I work on the patient one-on-one. The patient and I got it from him. So I was sent home for 2 weeks, coming where? To my birthday, hefty family to come and like go home, go spread with them. It's not good. So we're all praying that this will go away so we all can go back, to our normal thing. Like Marie said, sometimes she get a little sad. She think about what to put together to make it out of song. Maybe each of us, thinking about that. But for me right now, I have not put anything into music making since 3 months ago. Even though the pandemic been for a year, but 3 months ago, I got out of my share and I went to a studio to go do some on the raping that going on in Liberia. That's my home. I stay, listen to the news. I stay, ask people what's going on. So, but with all that I went through myself, so I put a stop to going to the guy's studio. I don't want to know that I'm sick, and I pack my logo, sit down with the guy making sick. So I put hold onto that. So with the pandemic, nothing is actually going towards our career that we are happy to do. Nothing. Everything has seed up, and which is not good. But we are happy that you brought this idea about us coming on Zoom today to talk about our movie to people who maybe have seen it, people who are not seen it, and For 2 years, Tony tried for us to go to Liberia right after making the movie so we can show it. But of course, two of us in a group were not able to travel right away. Now we got a couple of people who can travel right away. Here we come with the pandemic. So each time we plan something good to do in Liberia, there was something always backing it up. And now one good thing happened, boom, the pandemic is here. So maybe, God just telling us we want all three of y'all to be in the same place at the same time. So we will wait and patiently ask that he can intervene so that this sickness can go away. We'll all be free.
Like for me, when I wake up Sunday morning before I go to church, I would just set my phone. I would get on Facebook and then greet all my friends and tell them that I'm still here and get them one or two words and post it. Then that's all. Then everybody will make comment, oh, you okay, you okay? I say, okay. After some time, I get record a little video and post it. I'm still here, friend. So you guys keep me in prayer. Then we all pray together. The sickness will go, but I'm still here. Then I post it. So the fan can know that you stay around. And that's why
Good job, Marie. Good job.
Yeah, to
Hey,
add
on
on,
to you.
yeah. To add on to where my people just said, or my colleagues they just said, uh the pandemic seriously it had it has serious problem with everybody. Like for me, like when Mary said Santa, sorry if I pronounce your name real bad. Yeah, Santa wanted all of us to do something one time, and it didn't materialize because we don't know this. We don't know how to use this Zoom thing. We don't know it, so it ended up being I alone. I did something. I think Fatu said something about it day before yesterday when I talked to her. It was just a little click I did in my bedroom, and I didn't really feel good when I was doing it because this thing when you're doing it and you're together and doing it everybody present, it can be fine.
Yeah.
But for me, I like what Mary said. I've been doing little video and thing. I put it up my old songs. I will do the video in my room, in my living room here. Batu will do it for me, and we put it up, and we kept doing it, and we doing it, just to make me feel happy, to entertain my audience or my fans out there. So that's all I've been doing. So if you go on YouTube, you will see some strange or new video. For me, it's just something short a day, just to keep myself up and to let people know that we are still here. I'm still here, and we are here for one another to keep people happy and forget about what is going on. So that's what I've been doing too.
That's great. That's
Yeah.
great. Really. Yeah. I have not done any visual singing or any of that. But I'm walking around a lot. I've been doing interview.
Oh yeah, I've been seeing some
I
of
mean,
your stuff.
I've been
Yeah.
doing a lot of talking here and there. But yeah, I mean, like you just said, Zay, it
Mm-hmm.
is good together.
They're good together.
It
Yeah.
is really good together because you feel that vibe between each person, the fun, just say, hey, no, that key you took is wrong. I love
Yeah.
that. Just together, no, that other key is not correct. But if we say, look at what time we took this morning, we started at it, we had to do sound checking, other are trying to figure out where Mr. Zoom is and where Mr. Zoom daughter going to put them together and make Zoom. So
Yeah.
Now when our
those
phone
are
just
things
went
that
blank, I
hard
got to
for
wake up
us.
and leave from my house this morning
Yeah,
and say, come, I trying to get them both. My phone gone
there we
blank.
go.
And he just coming from work. I disturbing this morning to wake up. I say, you got to
There
do
we
this.
go. There we
Yeah.
go. I worry about Mary said last week, Mary, how we do this Zoom thing. I saw her test, Mary, when you go to your working place, ask people, I not spell the word Zoom. I say ask the people about this thing. Even if you forget the pronunciation, just show it to them. So she managed to pull it off. It hasn't been easy. It's a learning process, I would say, at this time. We're all learning how
Yeah.
to put things together. A couple of weeks ago, Tony and myself were on Zoom. We're in Paris. I'm saying I in a same spot, never
Wow.
crazy, but we pulled it off and it happened. You know, it happened. We talk about the Liberian Women Chorus for Chin. We talk about the movie for the Philadelphia Folklore Project. It is happening. She's trying her best to keep spreading the movie and Philadelphia Folklore Project with it because those are the
Yeah.
people
Yeah.
that got us to do what it is. The
Yep.
important thing of the movie to me is that tomorrow my children and their children and all
Yeah.
Liberians will get to see what we went through as people to do this and what we went through during the war so they can see it because they, you know, Marie, you know, and I know we got nothing to show from back home all the way we did thousands of years ago. We don't have those clips.
No.
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 When
And
I
we
started at
were
Kennedy
one
in
of them.
1978, people were recording us. Minister of Information were recording us. We don't have anything to show beside my picture, the picture that on my CD when I did my first album in 84. But with this movie, we can die tomorrow and go. They will
Yeah.
still see us. Our people will still know that there was something done. And who did it for us? Philadelphia Folklore Project through Tony, you know, hard work. We got it. We
Yeah.
got it to be proud of. So I am so proud that we did a movie. And you know, when we get to Liberia, it will even be worse because people want to see us.
Yeah.
And I was facing people who I never had the opportunity to talk to on a telephone to ask him what happened to my son. Did he actually die? What happened? Or somebody left him in the street? All of those things. I'm eager to go to Liberia with this movie for people to watch it so they can see who we are. Because they got young children that are born during the war, that was born during the war. They don't know us. They heard our
Yeah.
name. They keep
Yeah.
hearing our name because our name keep going on the internet, to places. We stay having interview. We stay doing little recording that Mommy Mary does and put it out as Zay does. She put it out, but we stay as Zay. So when we go by those children that were born during the wartime, it is the opportunity now to know, or it is the opportunity for us to introduce to them our thing we did during our parents' day. So I can't wait for us to travel in Liberia one day. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Let me say something quick. I will not be long. I just want to uh, say thank you, even though we're not finished yet. I don't want to forget. I want to say thank you to Folklore Project and especially to Tony
Yeah.
because, as I said earlier, that somebody called from Liberia and talk about the four of us. I was shocked that they show it on the TV. So once again, I just want to say thank you to Folklore Project and to Tony because she kept spraying this, this movie all over the place.
You guys led us to the last section, which was really to talk about the film and its process and its impact. So you both answered a lot of the question of why it was important, right? Having evidence and documentation that was lost previously or that you didn't have here in Philadelphia and being able to share that. And we are praying that when traveling is possible again, that you guys can all go to Liberia and continue that process. And hopefully this is a little taste. We are happy to be able to broadcast this at an hour that is accessible both in Liberia and in the East Coast of the United States. But I'm wondering, Tony, if I can ask you also to add a little perspective on the impetus for doing this film, right? So we talked about the chorus and the story of how that happened. And we began to talk about now, even through this conversation of the pandemic, why it was so important to have a documentary, why it was so important to do a project like this. Can you add a little bit to that as the director of the film?
This is something that has been central to the way that the Folklore Project goes about its work for decades, yes, from the beginning, that what people are creating and doing and valuing in communities matters, and having documentation of it adds to the historical record. I mean, for the Philadelphia Folklore Project, that's the historical record of Philadelphia and its communities. And for others, it's beyond that. So as when the women created the chorus, and they would perform in pop-up concerts in neighborhoods where Liberians tend to congregate, or in particular planned programs in theaters or elsewhere, we documented everything. We documented our meetings, our planning meetings. We documented our assessment meetings. We documented rehearsals with no idea of creating a formal documentary. This was just for our archive that would be a record of these remarkable women and their contributions to the cultural life of Philadelphia and the life of their communities. Well, after I don't know how many years of listening and following and being lucky enough to be in everyone's presence, I thought, well, you know, with their remarkable stories and their remarkable storytelling abilities, it would be great to have little portraits of each, you know, maybe a 3 or 4 minute clip on YouTube. Here's Fatu, here's Marie, here's Zay, here's Toke. But each of them, with their experiences, their visions, their accomplishments, their artistry, you know, it could have been a 20-hour mini-series for each. So instead, we took some of the grant money that we had gotten to support them as they did their work with the Liberian Chorus for Change, to funnel it into a documentary that would put at least some aspects of all of their 4 stories together. So it grew kind of organically. There wasn't an outside idea to have a movie. And as we move forward, there would have been a million ways to construct the story, the overall story in the movie. We decided that 4 chapters, each of which would focus on one woman and give her the platform for telling her story, or aspects of her story her way, was the best way to approach it with the material we had. And we tried, to get some things sent over from Liberia, but there's hardly any documentation, as the women mentioned. And when we could find things, it was remarkable. We incorporated whatever we could find of archival material. And ultimately, you know, as the director, any shortcomings are on my shoulders. But we did try to work collaboratively. And so each woman selected the focus of her own chapter. And then together we've been thinking about and putting into practice where we could show the film for different audiences and different goals for different audiences. Fatu mentioned just being interviewed recently by UNESCO. Something that I hope we all feel really good about and was totally unforeseen is some recognition for the movie as showing a way of working in community. And this is based in the ethos of and the ethics of the Philadelphia Folklore Project, that it's collaborative, involves a great deal of listening and responding to articulated needs, visions of community members who have a sense of where they want to be, what they want to happen for themselves. And so we've been lucky to have these connections and to be able to work to an end like this movie, which then is a launching point, we hope, for other kinds of collaborations and for inspiration. As people witness through this film, these remarkable community leaders, Fatu, Marie, Zay, and Toke, and what they've decided to take on. And you know, they may have started out as performing artists who then grew into spokespeople for their communities, people who listen well and respond in meaningful ways, people who can bring others together to move things forward, to like move the needle of their community away from violence and indignities to some safety and beauty. And we are continuing to build ways for the movie, and you all are doing that too, to make that kind of impact in discrete communities.
Okay.
Definitely. Definitely.
Yeah, and I just wanted to add what actually the movie had done for us, or we have seen the movie doing. I remember one day Tony told us, "Hey, we're going to invite the police to come and watch the movie at the Philadelphia Folklore Project." We invite our own police from the neighborhood, and as we all know, or some of us know, as a black immigrant in America, we are vulnerable to, violence, and most of it is in the hands of police and others. So when we invited them, some of us never sat down physically with police before, one on one. We were, for me, I was a little nervous, and they came to watch the film. One of the police officers was a Liberian who knew me for many years. As Tony usually will introduce the artist and call our name. The moment she called me and she got to my name, he turned around, "Where's Fatu? Where's Fatu?" Then he like, "Oh, I know you when I was growing up." He went on and think, but you could tell after they watched the movie, they now started to look at us different. You could see that respect. You could see that they want to work with us. We were people now they wanted to work with in the community to make our community better. And those are the things we're looking for. We've been looking for things that day. We show the movie, we watch the reaction of people. We show the movie, we watch the reaction of we will say the movie because each time we watch the movie, we got different reaction. Each time we watch it. Each time. Each time I watch the movie through, I was like, oh wow, I didn't realize this was it because you were focused when you just sitting with the audience and watching it, you focus on everything you did. And it's like that with the people that are watching it with us. We watch the movie with the people, then we sit and they give that question, we answer, but we, in particular, what we really looking for, people who are catching the story, what is in the story, and why we made this. Because a lot of people in America don't really know war. I never been to war. They never saw war. They don't even know what refugees mean and what we go through. More people. So watching this show makes for Americans and other foreign people that are here who are uh, 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 immigrant, who are refugee. Are two different things. You are immigrant, you are refugee. That's a double thing sitting here. Then we are immigrant and black immigrant and refugee. It's just triple. So when people sit and watch the show, they're like, oh my God, war is not good. Oh wow, how you people manage with this with all the trauma that you went through? Then we explain to them, hey, it was true what we believe in. That is our music, our dancing. We used it to get ourselves going. So these are the things we look for, the positive aspect of it. And some people will bring things that we learn from. They will tell us. A young girl watched this show. She decided she will open her own, how you call it, internet page to talk to young people from Liberia and young people from around the world. Those are the things we look for in people. We just not showing the movie because we want to show the movie for the people to see us. No, it's to learn from what we got, what we went through. That's what made it. This is for and what makes it happy. What makes it better for people to watch and for us to watch the people reaction.
I just want to share little fun about what Fatu was saying about the police. After we went to Folklore Project, we sit with the police and we got most of those Liberian, those are from Guinea and those are from Liberia, those police. So one day, I can't remember, we went somewhere, I think the same folklore coming from folklore. Okay, when Tony was going to Raw Island, we went for Tony farewell party. And then coming from there, Fatu was driving me to my house and the police car pulled over. So I got from the car and the man said, go back in the car. And I came back in the car. He just came and they say, I know you, does you know, Fatu, you don't put your single leg on. Fatu say, okay, I'm sorry, but I thought I put it on. And he left. Few weeks, I went on Woodland, and then I saw the guy standing up. He's a guy from Guinea, Mandigo guy. He said, "How you doing, Marie Inamo?" I said, "I'm fine. How you doing?" He said, "Well, Fatu Gabriel." I said, "She won. She live in Jersey." He said, "I put your wall that day." So I said, "Really?" So you want to tell me that when I got from the car, you don't know me or you know my voice? I said, Papa, we don't even look at your faces. As long as we saw the uniform, right away we put ourselves together and say, I just wanted for you to know me that time. I said, oh, let me just call the name. I said, but then, so then why you put over say, I just wanted for you to know me that I said with you to Folklore Project. Yeah, Kofi, brother. I said, Papa, we saw you that day, but we didn't know you. So I said it to say that sometimes the people said we all, when we sit together, we all like we all together, but when they leave, we don't even want to look at their faces again. That means they always making her up.
Yeah.
So that day I said, also, but we didn't do anything. If I didn't do anything that day, I said, no, to tell the truth, she didn't put the blinking light on, but I was in the car, I said to my people, you're leading. But when I get in ticket, I said, oh, really? Say, yeah. I thought you guys recognized me. Say,
Oh,
no.
wow. That was great.
So the movie got some of us today when we working in Philadelphia, we working like a star movie here and there. Even when we go to work, our working places, when we get there, I mean, so I saw somebody say, "Oh, I know Lily, she's a busy." Then we now climb our sword, we bluffing. I mean, it was so cool. It was very, very good. Trust me, there are people who here who want to be to where we are.
Yeah.
They really, really want to be to where we are. There are some of our friends when we see them, oh, you can't carry me. Oh, we want to be. So Fatu was trying to establish something, and then they sickness just blew everything away.
Yeah.
Because their friends want to come to where we are. Some of them will think that they didn't even get nothing from out of it, but they just want to be to where we are.
Yeah.
May I add some examples of some reactions to the film? At one of the screenings, that was at a university, actually. Fatu and I went there to teach some classes, and we showed the movie. And a woman came up to Fatu afterwards and said, "I'm not a student here. I live in the neighboring community. I'm Liberian, and I had no idea what my mother went through. But now through this movie, I think I have language to go speak to her. She would never tell me about her war experiences." Or others, like Fatu mentioned, young women asking if they could be mentored by the members of the chorus because they have issues in their own communities they want to address. And they think by creating a singing group or some other kind of arts collective, they could get the strength in numbers and support each other to address pressing concerns. Also, audience members who never heard of Liberia or didn't know there were Liberians in Philadelphia have said, wow, everyone in the United States should see this because they would fall in love with an immigrant. So in the face of a lot of anti-immigrant, both attitudes and policies, maybe this could be helpful in countering that. Yeah. And the other thing I wanted to say is that when younger Liberians have seen this, and Fatu mentioned that sometimes there's a division between younger people, their interest in traditional culture or not. They, or at least this is what I've heard people say, like they see the women as cool and kind of hip, and they're doing good stuff. What they do matters. So maybe they're going to listen to their grandmothers in a new way now. Maybe they're going to pay attention to the collective wisdom, the traditional wisdom that's in their communities to help them, again, be realistic about the complex concerns of the current day. And maybe there's a way to make a way through constructively by using that traditional knowledge that's right around them.
That's great.
Yeah, I know when I came to the Folklore Project just last year, actually my first day of work was the screening of this film. One of the screenings that you were doing. in the Folklore Project. And that was a beautiful and inspiring introduction. And I know that, you know, you guys are an inspiration in your community and worldwide, and also to the Folklore Project, you know, for future work that we do with other communities. We're always looking at, you know, things that we do, what is successful, what is not, you know, how can we improve, what models seem to work for people well. And obviously this is a tremendous and ongoing work and project. So before we wrap up today, I just want to ask if any of my colleagues, I know that we have Eric and Sint on the line, and I don't know if you guys have any other questions, anything that you forgot, we forgot, or things that you were wondering about that we might want to include.
I'm going to ask a question that someone had asked before, but because we're recording, I think it's fun to ask these questions for you all as singers, and now you live in the US for so long. Now, do you listen to the radio? And if you do, what is your favorite genre of music?
Well, as I said before, I am a lover of the country western. It sounds funny, but yeah, I am country western girl. That's what I listen to. Yep.
How about Marie? And
like for me, you ask the best question, because what you do is what you like. If you not like anything, you will not do it the best.
Yeah.
I don't watch, if I'm come from work and I'm laying down on my bed, I don't watch nothing but music. Nothing but music. So I love music, and so I watch music, whether I can understand, whether I don't understand, whether it's different tribe, whether it's not different tribe, because I want to learn from others. So I watch music. I love music more than any other thing, so I don't watch nothing. I always hearing people, the news say, because I don't even listen to news. I go straight to my music and then listen to music. So I love
video.
Music,
Okay.
especially the country music.
Yeah.
The country music video, I always behind it.
Yeah, they like me, the country western music too. That's my area. That's my
I
area.
love it.
Apart from that, I just love music. I always play music on my B string right here. When I'm less busy, I put it on. All over the world, Africa, you know, America, all over the place. I just play music. Once the beat is good, I will just lay back here and enjoy myself. So I love music, the country western music.
And to be, you know, specific, center country western music, you listen to it. When I listen to that song, it's like us. Seriously, we get up in the morning in the village. This woman married to a man with S and Y wives. She get us send our now her night. She jealous, then she create song. Right there, how she was not the one with the man, and that woman, she thinks she knows so much. She would sing a song about that. That's not her turn, but she would start to be jealous, and she'll put it in song. So everything we do is just like how the country western people do. They buy a new car. They say, I roll my truck on the dirt road. All of those things make me to love that song, because even those songs are everyday thing, but they take the petty thing and make better out of it. And that's what we do. We dream, we sing about it. You jealous today, you sing about it. You do something. I mean, it's just the everyday petty thing our folk song is into. And the folk song, one person singing, the other person will yell from outside there and add something to it. And that's how the folk, the country western music. Yeah, that's when I listen to them. That's how I hear us. I hear us in our music. They sing in English, but I hear us in our music. Seriously. I hear us in our music. That's some of the songs. When the people ask me, Fatu, what the meaning of the song? I say, I was just singing about something. The song is going down now, and the liquor is finishing in the bottle. There's somebody refill. What a song! But yeah, it is a beat that people dance though. But when you give the meaning to people who don't understand how that the beat, this is why we dancing to. The song is going down low, refill the bottle, but it is a song. That's what I love about the country western. We think the same way we do, you know.
Sometimes they ask, where is my liquor bottle? You
There we
gotta
go.
That's so funny because my dad also, when he went to study here and then came back to Indonesia,
Mm-hmm.
you know, that's all he sing. He sings John Denver. He was singing all the country, you know, like all the cowboy song. That's what he sang.
Yes, yes. It's easy to go in. So yeah, that's you tap into it with anything you got. I love it. Yep.
Thank,
All right,
thank
well-
you for that. Thank you for that question, Cinta. I would have never thought of that, but it's fascinating to me because I actually too, I love country music as well. And being a New York City girl, that's not always the most popular answer to my friends growing up. I feel like I kind of kept it hidden because they were like, what? You know, but yeah, we'll have to talk more about that sometime. That's a fascinating connection.
It is. Oh,
So
yes.
thank you all so much for being here and taking the time to record with us.
Hey.
Hey.
Thanks, Eric. Thanks, Cinta.
Bye.
Naomi,
Tony,
Tony.
bye.
Love you all.
Santa.